Tottenham beat Chelsea. Another defeat for Graham Potter and his men. Spurs on a good run of form pushed themselves 4 points clear of Newcastle into the top four. Their recent run of good form and excellent results is paying dividends for them. Another win with Antonio Conte as well. Maybe he should manage work from home a little bit more often, just like a lot of people in 2023. But Chelsea sink deeper and deeper into their depression. 2 wins in the last 10 games. 1 goal in the last 5 games. This is an abomination of a run. This is a scandalous level of performance. Graham Potter looks out of his depth. He looks out of ideas. These players are not. They are simply not playing for him. You've got so many good quality players, some young, some in their middle ages, some older from a footballing context, but they cannot perform to any level in any capacity. And I'm taking nothing away from Tottenham. They deserved to win today. But every time Chelsea get that ball in and around the 18-yard box, they have a nosebleed. They pass out. They black out. This team is in trouble. And I believe the manager is a massive, massive part of that. I want your thoughts and I want your feelings on Tottenham. I have to say, when it comes to Tottenham, they've struggled this season. But in the last few weeks, yes, they beat City. They won last week. They win today. In terms of wins on the bounce here, I want to make sure I get this right and get this up on the screen in front of me. I think that's 2 on the bounce in the Premier League. I'm trying to get their fixtures up now. I hate web pages that load and move. As 2 on the bounce, it's 4 wins from their last 5 games. And that is a really good piece of form. They've really pushed aside that disappointing performance and defeat against Leicester. They really have 2 back-to-back wins in London derbies. Not conceding goals as well is massive because they've been so gettable at times this season, Tottenham. So easy to break down. They're going to be feeling very, very confident indeed. More and more players returning. Even seeing Richarlison today angry to be walking off the football pitch on the winning side, but without scoring, I think it's a real positive element for Tottenham fans. They should be hoping for more of this. You should want your players to be angry to be coming off. You should want them disappointed that they haven't scored. So I think from a Spurs point of view, it's a brilliant day in the office with Newcastle not playing. Of course, they kick off against Man United very soon in the Carabao Cup final. You had to get those 3 points. Yes, they have a game in hand over you now, but 3 points in the bag is far more important. It's points on the board. The game in hand, anything can happen. And with the run of form Newcastle have been in, Spurs are pushing themselves into that top 4 position. And I think for a lot of people now, how the top 4 sits and looks now on the 26th of February 2023 is how many people predict it's going to end. I thought after the January window that Liverpool or Chelsea might be able to put a run of fixtures together where they win games. They demonstrate their quality based on the very good squads they've got, the millions of pounds that they've spent. But they haven't been able to do it in any way, shape, or form. And Spurs are turning that corner. They're not scintillating. They're not at their absolute best. I still think there's levels that Tottenham can go up. I still think there's better performances to come. But as it stands right now, they'll finish in front of Newcastle. They just have more than Newcastle, more experience. They have better players, and they definitely have a better manager. And I think Spurs have done very, very well indeed to put themselves into this position. But when it comes to Chelsea, a conversation needs to be had. I can always admit my faults because I'm a real man. I thought after the January window, you'd see some resemblance of a performance. You would see some goals. There would be a resurgence. There'd be maybe a pop or a snap to Chelsea's game. There's nothing. This is nothing short of horrendous. It is arguably the worst form and the worst performances that I have seen from a top 6 side ever. And I'm talking since the top 6 formed. So the top 6, what? Was that sort of 2015 onwards? In the last almost near decade, I cannot remember a top 6 team being as bad as this. Now, you could argue, Arsenal came 8th, but Arsenal still threw in performances, won an FA Cup. Man United last year under Ragnick were awful, but we still put in some really good performances and beat Tottenham, smashed Brentford. We still had like every 2 or 3 games we'd turn up. This Chelsea team has had, even in the last 10 games, they've won a couple, but they've not been great performances. That would be the biggest worry and biggest fear that I would have right now if I was a Chelsea fan, is the lack of performance, the lack of fight, the lack of togetherness of this team. And it stems from the manager. And by the way, you say smash Brentford. Back end of last season at Old Trafford, Man United smashed Brentford. See, again, you can laugh all you want, Nicky, but you're taking it off subject. For some reason, you want to defer. As bad as United were last year, we still had every 2 or 3 games a good result. Facts. That literally happened. Even when Arsenal beat Man United at the Emirates, the back end of last season, United were the better team in the game for large parts. They had performances within it. Still awful. That's why I'm looking at this Chelsea thing, is it should be damning. There's not a performance. There's not they were a bit unlucky today. It is diabolical. Chelsea fans, they feel ashamed, and they should feel ashamed of their football club, because I don't think it's reflecting any of them. There aren't very many human beings that behave and act this badly. I'm talking the general populace, not weirdos and freaks and crazy people. Do you know what I mean? I'm talking the general, and that's what people look at their football clubs for. They look at their sporting heroes for. Their rugby teams, football teams, cricket teams. It's almost to kind of reflect, I want to work hard like you. I want to be inspired like you. I'm going to take your perseverance and your energy and your effort and sort of inject that into my own life. It's why certain types of famous people, sports stars, athletes, probably not politicians nowadays, but actors, it's why people idolize them, because they take something from it. And Chelsea fans want to be inspired by their football club. This isn't inspiring. This is soul destroying. Even as a rival, I look at this and I feel bad for Chelsea fans. All football fans deserve better performances than this. What football means to local communities, to working class people in this country, is so dear, is so important. It is our culture. To be treated like this is disgusting. And Chelsea fans should be fuming, and they should be demanding answers. And the first answer they need to know is, why is Graham Potter still here? People can defend him all they want. Big squad, transitions. They can work hard. They can run. They can look like they've got an idea and a plan. This man is lost. This man is no Chelsea manager. This man is of course he can manage in the Premier League. Of course he can. But he's no top 6 manager. He is a fish out of water. He is panicking. It's over. It's truly, truly over. He really is a PE teacher running one of the biggest football clubs in the world. It's horrendous. I'm going to go to some of your comments that have come in here. Jerome says, finally a performance I can say I'm proud of. Chelsea get battered everywhere they go. Everywhere they go is what Jerome says here. Mudryk looked slow and no positional awareness. He just came on into a game where it was already dead. I mean, I don't know what people expected at that point. The game was over. The fight was gone. What was the point? Change the scarves wrong way around. It's driving me mad. Are they? Okay, we'll move it later. Well, no, they're the right way around. The badges are, you can see the badges are the right way up. Look, that's the old school. Yeah, but the badge is the right way up, my friend. Yeah, and it says you mean like the football and then terrace. I get you. We haven't planned to do that. That's fluke. Imagine Ten Hag with his Chelsea team. Man United are very fortunate to have Ten Hag first. So happy Ten Hag is at United. I'm telling you now, if Tuchel had stayed, they'd be doing better. They may not be winning the league, but they'd be doing better. A huge part of the problem here is Graham Potter, 100%. And people on the terrace told me I was exaggerating about relegation. Relegation form, 2 wins in 16. Silva out. Fofana played. Fofana should have played, not Mount. Yeah, look, you're in relegation form, but I don't think you're getting relegated. You've got Bournemouth and who's bottom of the league? Southampton. They are. Yeah, you're not going to go down. Like, trust me, you're not going down. I'm sure of that. But you may not get Conference League if this continues. Terry, this is depression. Todd, pull the trigger, man, is what Dyke's got to say. Look, you may get a press release in the next 10 minutes that says Graham Potter is safe. He shouldn't be. He should not be safe. No one should be on be in a position where no matter how bad their performance is, there's no repercussions. That's a problem here. Ten Hag transform Man United in a few games. Graham Potter can't with chest. Trust the process, BS. Do you know what? This is so true, though, Victor. This is so true in most cases. And I think a lot of people, and I did this earlier on in the season where I'm talking about, yeah, you know what, though? Mikel Arteta, took him a while to really get going. But he had some good wins early on. Won an FA Cup in his first season. Remember that. Equally, Arteta's probably the exception that breaks the rule. Eddie Howe transformed Newcastle within games. Ten Hag at Man United. Within 3 to 4 games, we were playing better football. It shouldn't. The man's, he's got about 20, 25 games now, and you're getting worse. You're getting worse. And again, Arteta was never on a run as bad as this, was he? Arteta never went 16 games and only won 2 of them. Like, as bad as things got at Arsenal, they were never this bad. Pull the trigger, Bowley. Do it. Potter conducts Chelsea's trainings with a PS5 game. Hogwarts Legacy is what Legendary Villain says here. I don't know why that made me laugh, but yeah. Players ain't playing for him, deservedly so, is what Dyke says. Terry, today is my birthday, and Man United winning the Carabao Cup would be the best birthday present. Well, I hope they do it for you. I'm annoyed at a lot of United fans today that are writing off Newcastle. That's crazy. But we'll be talking more about that game, and we're live after that match as well. So there's 4,000 of you watching now. Please all come back for that match reaction, please. It would mean a lot to me personally if you would. Thank you. This here says, Todd B saved Arsenal from Mudryk and gave them J20. Listen, I don't think Mahalo Mudryk is a bad football player. He's just gone into an awful situation. Look, João Felix in those first couple of games, you're like, wow, look at him go. He's starting to look meaty as well. This is what happens when you're in a bad environment. If you've got rotten wood, if you go into your loft and the builder says, right, your wood's rotting away. You got wood rot, you got woodworm, there's a bit of black mold. If you just take some brand new, fresh, clean wood, even if it's treated, and just hammer it in next to the broken wood, and you don't clear out the infestation, within a period of time, depending on how bad the infestation is, the new wood becomes rotten, full of woodworm, and moldy as well. You have to cut out the crap before you instill the new stuff. You know? If you've got dirty walls and you just paint fresh paint over them, within a matter of weeks, the paint starts to crack and crumble. You've got to clean it first. Lesson in life there. Really thinking Mudryk was forced to go there now. Like against his will for more money or something. He's a talented player in a team that is falling apart, and young players will die in this environment. They will die in this environment 9 times out of 10. Let's all laugh at Chelsea. Plastic club, happy for little Dan, is what I cut my says here. Imagine what Arteta could do with Mahalo Mudryk. Listen, he would have been a hit at Arsenal. He'd have been a hit at Arsenal, no doubt. Remember, Jorginho is seen as awful and crap by Chelsea fans. He's balling out for Arsenal. He's balling out for Arsenal. Been sensational in the games that he's played. Sensational. Pivotal. Why? Because he's in a team and a system that suits him. In an environment that is positive. This isn't just about the individual players. Some have been bad. They need criticism. This is about Potter. Bowley's consortium reminds me of Farhan Mush. How do I pronounce that word? Mashiri. Who's he on? Is that Mashiri? Who is Mashiri? Is that Everton? Leeds owner, maybe. Yeah, I'm not too sure. Remind me who that is, people. Chelsea fully broken, not looking good next season, is what Silver Runin says. Yeah, it doesn't look good at all, my friend. Media bums like Matt Law are disgustingly biased. They're not disgustingly biased. As I've been telling you all on the terrace now for 4 or 5 years, the tier ones are fed their information invariably by the club. The club will always tell you what it wants you to believe. You then have got to be a man or a woman and read between the lines and be smart about it. If your club's going through a bad moment and the tier ones are like, everything's okay over here, they're lying to you. They're lying to you. You know when the police do a cordon and they tell everyone to go home, there's nothing to see. That means something bad's gone down. So stay and look if you want to. Like when they say there's nothing happening here, well, why are you cordoning off the road then? There's always something going on. It might be dangerous, so get away. But the point I'm making is whenever you're told to look over here, look the opposite way in life. Smoke and mirrors. Don't fall for them. Have your own brain. Engage it. Be a man. Be a woman. Be free. If you need a tier 1 to tell you what's going on, you don't understand football. Teta is an anomaly. It was also his first job levels. Yeah, listen, I think he is an anomaly. I agree. Terry, what are you doing? Leave that manager alone is what Sky. Listen, I know a lot of rivals don't want him to go, but I've got to speak open and honestly and freely, my friend. That's the point of the terrace, no echo chambers. Can't wait for Bowley to throw Potter under the bus and offer Rodgers a 7-year. Can you imagine? Yeah, get rid of Potter and then give Brendan Rodgers a 7-year deal. That would actually be hilarious. Hilarious. Who's that meant to be? Hold the whole team. Oh, Aubameyang showing the whole team his Arsenal tattoo is what Anthony says here. Yes, peak. I envy United with Ten Hag after we lost Tuchel. What's clever is clever. Give a world-class manager this Chelsea squad and you will be shocked how good these players are. Listen, I agree with that. I think if you give... Say you bring in, I think Zidane's a top-class manager. Luis Enrique as an example. Flick as an example. Or, listen, they might not have the money at the moment, but pay the money and buy a brilliant manager out of their contract. You will see instant improvements. You will see instant improvements. Graham Potter is a big problem at Chelsea right now. There's players that need outing as well. There's no doubt about it. And Todd Bowley has got to stop making football decisions. He's got to let the ball that he's constructed together do them. But I think they have to make the right call here. Allow Graham Potter to leave. Give him his £15 million payout. Give it to him. Let him ride off into the sunset. Wipe your mouths and move on because you're going nowhere with this man. Absolutely nowhere. O'Malley here says 4 goals in 2023 in all comps. No. Is that true? Javern, is that true? 4 goals in 20. I need you to check that for me, please, Javern. I need Javern Chelsea fans going to go check it. That can't be right. 3 goals in 2023. 4. That means Real Madrid, who played 1 game in England in 2023, have got more goals. Wow. That's crazy. That is crazy. Thank you here to Starman for becoming an official member. That is a madness of a stat. But for me making Javern go and look at that, I'm going to have to buy him some chicken now. I'm buying some food. I'm buying some dinner for that one because that was cruel of me. Terry, is there any chance United letting Ten Hag go? No, brother. Listen, there's on paper, there's better managers in the world. In reality, there's better managers. Pep and Klopp, their careers, they've got better CVs. But I wouldn't swap my board manager for anyone else in the world right now. I'm in love with him. I'm in love with him. Do you know what I mean? Like, in my life, there's my children, there's my partner, and then there's Man United. And I'm in love with my club again. Sorry, Dad. Sorry, my brothers. I'd watch United over your wedding. You know that's true. I took 3 hours out of my own brother's wedding to watch the Manchester Derby because it's the Manchester Derby. And we came back from 2-0 down. It was a great day. But there we go. I'm going to share the link in the comment sections. I know some Chelsea fans want to come on and have their say with us. We are here at Unit 7. The home of the football terrace today is the last show in this studio. We're moving locations after today. So it's a long day for us. We've got the games to cover. Then we've got to pack the place down. Then it's going to be a bit of Tommy Fury and not Logan Paul, the other one, Jake Paul. So yeah, it's going to be fun. Looking forward to it. And I hope Tommy Fury wins, to be honest with you. I'm hoping that Tommy Fury wins. We're going to be getting some Chelsea fans on to have their say. They look very, very angry backstage. They really, really do. Who's more pathetic, Liverpool or Chelsea? It's a hard one. I said yesterday, I think Liverpool's fall-off's more embarrassing because they were nearly quad winners last year. But I don't think that's going to matter to Chelsea fans. I don't think Chelsea fans are out here having a micro-penis competition. Oh, yours is 1 centimetre, mine's 1.5 centimetres. They're both tiny. You know, both sets of fans should be absolutely humbled. And you know what's crazy? Today marks a really interesting a really, really interesting moment, really. This time last year, we were sitting in here getting ready to go live for Chelsea versus Liverpool in the Carabao Cup final. And you had Arsenal fans and Man United fans being bantered left, right, and centre. What a 12-month turnaround it's been. I think if you would have sat on a stream 12 months ago and said, this time next year, United and Arsenal will be flying and Liverpool and Chelsea will be mid-table, I don't think one singular person would have turned around and said, yeah, I get where you're coming from. The turnaround for United and Arsenal has been massive, and the drop-off for Chelsea and Liverpool has been nothing short of embarrassing. João Felix will win Chelsea Goal of the Month because he's the only Chelsea player to score this month. I mean, again, Chelsea shouldn't even run the competition. You know, last year, Man United didn't have a Player of the Year award ceremony or nothing because it was such a bad season. Chelsea shouldn't do... Like, for me, if I'm a Chelsea fan and I see it, until you win a game, there should be no PR from your club. No, we're selling this tracksuit, barring the women's game because it's nothing to do with the men's. Like, the men's team, it should be radio silence until you win a football match. Legit. It is beyond embarrassing. And I'm angry on behalf of Chelsea fans because all football fans deserve more than this. Sareem here says, is Javern okay? Can you clip him crying, is what Shun said. Javern's not angry anymore. That's how bad things are. He's just calm with it. When you're calm in bad situations that you were angry about, that's a big problem. We bought more players than goals scored. This is true. I, for one, don't see what the issue is. Potter in is what Gunnar Paul has got to say here. I'm sure as a Gunnar, you don't see any issue with it at all. I'm sure you don't, my friend. First, we're gonna go to some calls in a moment and then get a bit of a mini. Who's also backstage here? Just seeing who's backstage. We're gonna get a bit of a mini panel out as well. Emma Hayes. Listen, Emma Hayes will do a better job than Potter. I guarantee you, put Emma Hayes in charge for the remainder of the season. I guarantee she wins more games than Graham Potter has. Guarantee you. Emma Hayes is a better football manager than Graham Potter. And she'd be right in that. She wouldn't be sitting there now telling the players it's okay to lose. Listen, the death threats and the nasty things that have been said about Graham Potter's family are unforgivable and wrong. They shouldn't happen. If you have to stoop, if you're angry at him and you have to stoop to wishing death upon him or his family, that just shows your lack of intelligence. Like, anyone who behaves like that is a moron. Same as when you get into an intellectual debate and somebody wants to get violent, that person's a fool. They're a clown. They're a charlatan. They have no brains. They're an embarrassment to their family. But Graham Potter's behavior himself is ridiculous. Doesn't mean he deserves death threats, but it's like he kind of excuses losses and it's going to be okay. They're a good team. They're not a bad team this. They're not a bad team that. It's crazy to me. Emma Hayes would be in that dressing room now. She would grab some of those Chelsea players, metaphorically speaking, by their balls and put them in their place. And that's what this Chelsea team need, tough love. Football is a bit like, there's a few industries in the world. Football's one of them. Sport is one of them in general. Being a chef, working in a top-level kitchen is one of them. Being in the army is certainly another. And you may be able to educate me on different industries that are like this. But there are certain industries where you have to take a rollicking, where you have to take someone getting in your face, where you have to be able to take adversity. And Graham Potter's too soft. He should go and kick a football boot in one of their faces. I'm not even messing around. Go and do something mad right now. I want to hear reports like that Graham Potter grab Mason Mount by the scuff of the neck and call him a prick. Do something mad. Show some aggression. Aggression is good at times. Aggression is good at sometimes 110%. 110%. What's the more super chats from you here? First one says Chelsea could be pushed out of the top 10 to 11th place. Placed by Villa if they win their next match. I mean, imagine being not in the top 10. Imagine having, you know, when Sky Sports put the scores up and you have to wait for the second half of the table. If you're in that other half of the table, it's peak. Bar Liverpool and Chelsea, the quality of the league has improved this year, in my opinion. A lot of lower half teams are more competitive and playing good football. The league is good quality. The Premier League's always been good quality, always, for years. It's not a modern day phenomenon. It's always been good quality. There's just a new style of football that's kind of in football now. There's more systems than there used to be. But there ain't no excuse for Liverpool and Chelsea because they're getting beat by teams where you wouldn't take off their players. And obviously, I don't want to take away from Tottenham too much today. They were very good. Harry Kane scoring again. That man don't stop scoring. He's an absolute powerhouse. And what a goal by Skip, by the way. I hadn't even touched on that goal. Or I'm gonna ask Matt this question. Or was Kepa's hands a little bit pompadom? Well, there's some soft wrists there from Kepa. Personally, I think Skip's shot was an absolute thunderbolt, crossbar and in, your Boa style. But listen, I don't want to take nothing away from Tottenham today. They deserved it. But this Chelsea team are in trouble. This Chelsea team are in bits. And I don't even mean it rudely. That is the bigger story. That's why I'm kind of focusing heavily on that. DR here says it was unsavable. I think it was such velocity, it'd be difficult to save. But I do want to hear from Chelsea fans on that one. Jack, I think Jack here has got it right in today's game. Today was men against boys. And it was. It was men against boys. And as soon as that goal went in for Tottenham, Chelsea had zero. Not a single way back into that game. Every time it got into the box, they're cowards, every single one of them. Nothing other than cowards. Simple and as straightforward as that. Listen, people, I need you to smash that like button for the Football Terrace right now. Get that done for us. Let's get this stream past 1,000 likes while we are live, please. Very much need that support on the terrace today. We're gonna bring in some callers, and we're gonna bring a panel out, and we'll add some callers into it as we go along. We're gonna bring Daniel and Orchie out as Spurs fans. Matt's come in. We're gonna bring out QNTV man like with us now, and of course Abs. Man like Abs is back. Man's got Raheem Sterling hair on today. His hair's changed. He's coming out. I'm gonna bring out some boys now to have their say on the show. Make sure like buttons are being hit and you're subscribing. Let's do this. Let's go. I almost got everybody out in time. I'm just a little bit struggling, just a little bit behind. It's loading in. There we go. I'm going to put the Spurs boys up on top because they won today, and I think they deserve it. But I want to go to Matt first of all. As a Chelsea fan today, what do you make of that performance? And give me your thoughts on how you're feeling right now.
I'll be honest. I turned it off at the 60th minute. I saw Mason Mount walk on that pitch. Turned it off. So I watched, finishing the episode of The Last of Us, so I finished it off because that's more important to me than watching this game. This game is shocking to you. And I warned everyone about this. I warned them back in September when Tuchel got sacked, and I came on here and I said, Graham Potter will get us relegated. I still have the clip where I said, Graham Potter will get us relegated. He's not going to improve this squad. So everything I've said is coming to light, and I didn't want that to happen because Graham Potter is a horrible manager. I don't want to swear that he's a horrible manager. It's 3 a.m. right now. I said last night I wasn't going to watch this game, but I had to watch him because I still have hope in this team. We just spent $700 million. If you're Potter in, you are absolutely delusional. I don't know what to tell you. There's something mentally wrong with you. I'm telling you right now, because how are you looking at these roles? How you look at the money spent? Look at the fucking lineup you played today. That's an embarrassing lineup you played today. And then we need a score, and he brings on Mason Mount, and he thinks Mason Mount's going to help us score a goal. Where was Mudryk today? We just spent $100 million on Mudryk, and you start Ziyech. Ziyech was 2 fucking minutes away from going on the plane to France. He was about to get off the plane, go to France, go to PSG, but no, he's back on this pitch. Why is he starting? And why is James Charles Kai Havertz up front? Why is he always starting? It's just these simple things. I'm saying a script. I'm saying a fucking script. I'm saying the same shit. Same things. Bad lineups. Same mistakes. Same problems. And what's he doing? He's clapping the hands, and he's clapping the hands. Why is he doing that? This guy shows no passion to this club. I think he wants to get sacked because he gets £60 million if he gets sacked. I don't blame him if he gets sacked because you got someone like Todd Bowie, knows nothing about football, no clue, comes in, thinks he's Mr. Boss out here, and comes and tries to do all these transfers and sack, one of the best managers we've had this club, and give this guy 8 years. I say to Chelsea fans right now, who's the best manager on this market right now? The best manager on the market is Thomas Tuchel, who's on the market, and we sacked him for this guy. So all you Tuchel hands, kiss in. Look where we're at right now. Look where we're at, because we are declining. We're going to keep declining, and people are saying that we're not going to get relegated. And I remember David saying we're not going to get to that part. We're close to coming to that part. I think Aston Villa win next week. We're going to keep going down and down and down. So when is it going to end? When are we going to come back to the top? We're not going to come back to the top with this manager. Get him out. And the thing with the Kepa thing as well, again, Had the ball slipped out of his hand, went to pick it up, no communication. Enzo comes and clears the ball. What was Enzo thinking, man? Why is Enzo coming and clearing that ball there? Is this communication? Is there no, because obviously the players need to gel, is what I'm hearing. But the gelling squad is them having days off and they're going to go home and do their TikTok dances and PR stunts. So don't tell me that squad needs to gel, right, when these guys are having day offs. I wouldn't be surprised if Potter gives these guys 4 days off next week for trying their best and giving it their all. These guys are boys in a man's sport. I said it a year ago, Terry. I said it after we won the Super Cup that these are boys in a man's sport. There's no discipline. There's no authoritarianism. There's no captaincy. There's nothing in this team, and it's still to this day. We've just been 700 million, and we still can't get it. So when are we going to come back to being Chelsea Football Club? Because right now we're Brighton FC, and I'm not going to stop saying Potter out because he needs to go. I was Potter out before he even walked those doors, and I'm still Potter out. Get him out. Bring in who fucking care. I don't care who comes in. Bring in anyone, please. Anyone but Potter. He is garbage.
I get you're angry. Kazim, long time no speak, my friend. How are you feeling as a Chelsea fan right now? Because it's going from bad to worse. You could drop to as low as 11th in the league, 2 wins in 10 games, 2 wins in 16, only 4 goals scored in 2023. This is the worst form. I've never seen Chelsea in my 37 years on earth this bad. Talk to me.
Hi Terry, thanks for having me. I appreciate that, mate. I don't know. First of all, I don't know what Matt's talking about, bro. What are you talking about, Mason Mount? He came in second half, bro. There's an agenda that Matt.
But he's coming on to create.
Bro,
What's
finish,
he creating?
You
asked me a question, man. Ask me a question, Kasim.
No, come on. What are you talking about? Mason Mount. Mason Mount came in second half, bro. What are you talking about?
But he comes on to do nothing, and I'm saying
what
I said. Yeah, but what I said. No, you don't know what I said.
He plays fucking Kai Havertz week in, week out. 90 minutes every fucking games, bro. Keeper, he won't play for League One. He played for Chelsea Football Club. He's in 175 grand a week. What are you talking about? Ben Chilwell, he just came from injury. He's been off for nearly 2 years. He's starting the guy. What are we talking about here? Ruben Loftus-Cheek, he's not good enough, bro. Right? Ruben, he's not good enough. He's on the manager. Listen, people talking about Todd Bowley. Yeah, Todd Bowley, clueless, haven't got a clue. He decided. I know he's talking about Tuchel. What about Tuchel, bro? Tuchel is the biggest fraud I ever seen. Tuchel, he promised us gonna challenge, right? He's gone out there, right? He bottled it. He started complaining about other players, right? He started falling out with the manager, and he reached just his ceiling was top 4. To me, Terry, Chelsea Football Club about competing, about winning trophies. We now acting like Arsenal Football Club, when we're just fighting for top 4 year in, year out, bro. And United to some extent after Alex Ferguson retired. All they do is just fighting for top 4. I don't see it this way, Terry. I see Chelsea competing. Chelsea won. And listen, I'm not being funny or anything. We spent over 600 million. That's automatically we should go win the league. Never mind challenging. Should be go winning the 600.
No, but trust the process. No,
what are you talking about?
Trust the process. Trust the process,
talk about the process.
Kaz, that's my question for you.
Yeah.
Do you trust the Todd Bowley process? Are you in love with it? Do you trust it? Do you think it's going to pay dividends in the end?
Listen, Terry. I said that to you before. I've got my own channel on TV. I'm first person in my channel spoke about Todd Bowley. He's clueless. He's sacked in the board left, right, and center before doing his homework. And obviously, he started hijacking FC in the summer and all. No, I'm not a big fan of that idea because he starts buying player before employ sporting director. I never look at the project of Barcelona over the years or Bayern Munich. They got a sporting director. They do the homework. Look at even Manchester City, bro. The way they're running. You agree or disagree? Manchester City, one of the best club, if not the best club in the world. From manager, players, board, owner. We don't have this, Terry. We win the league once. We'll go to Sibir for 6-7 years. We win the league once. We'll go to Sibir. We don't have a structure, no style of play. Look over the years. Ajax. Look at Barcelona. If they sack the manager, they still have the same style of play, right? We don't have that, bro. Manager gets sacked after 6 months. You get a new player. After that, new manager, new player, new manager. And listen, I'm not gonna lie. Graham Potter, man. You're talking about Brighton. Come on, listen. I like the guy as a human, right? And I disagree with the death threat. I think that's absolutely atrocious. Listen, I'm not gonna. I judge him as a manager. He's not good enough, Terry. He remind me when I used to go work, Terry. Right? I had a United fan, my mate, and I used to laugh at him because you had Ole. Now we got one Worse than Oli, bro. They're laughing at me now. And I got Matt leaving fucking Graham Potter. He's talking about fucking Mason Mount. What about Mason Mount, bro? He came
I said Mason Mount was the final straw for me. I said I turned off the TV because of Mason Mount. I'm not blaming Mason. I'm saying turn off the TV because it's Potter's decision. It's Potter's decision. I'm agreeing with it. It's Potter's decision. Stop backing your boy Mason Mount because the guy's fucking garbage. But I'm talking about Potter's decision making. I turned it off because of Potter's decision making. There's nothing there.
Do you know the problem is?
We're agreeing on the same thing.
No, but you know it's who I'm saying, innit? I know everyone has their own player agendas because listen, our fan base, there's guys that like, there's guys that don't like. I'll be real.
Guys, there's a stat. I want to sorry, Abs, I want to interject. There's a stat that's it's not a stat, it's a fact that's just come out that states that Graham Potter is the first manager in history. So the first manager in the history of football to lose back-to-back games to managers who are not. So yes, that's it. So against managers, sorry guys, against managers who don't have their UEFA accredited licenses and badges yet.
Terry, we're breaking all the stats today.
Who's the other one?
All the stats.
Terry, who's the other one? It was obviously
Southampton last week.
No,
so we've just broken more records. It's the first time we've lost to Spurs in the Premier League since 2019 again. So we're breaking 77 shots, no goals.
It was 2018.
So we're breaking stats left, right, centre. What I can't.
You know what?
Abs, what you saying, bro? What you saying, mate? Long time no speak. Like Chelsea are just falling off the edge of a cliff. Is this about the manager not getting enough out of the team? Is this about having a bloated squad, a combination of the two? Like, how do you see this, Abs? What's your opinion, mate?
Bro, I'll be real with you. Listen, I've gotten to the point where everyone's got their own problems with players. And I do believe there's still holes in this team. Don't get it twisted. So before people start attacking it. But at the end of the day, right, I've gotten to the point where I don't care if your name's Conor Gallagher, who I think is completely useless, or I think your name's Enzo Fernandez, who I think is a fantastic player. I am not going after any of the players no more because the biggest fundamental issue at this football club is Graham Stephen Potter. And I've said it for months. I said it after we that shambles of a performance against Arsenal at home, which was a massive London derby, and we got completely outclassed. We've now gone and lost. We've gone and dropped points to West Ham. We've not been a single top 10 side. I even checked these numbers earlier. This man has a 29.4 win percentage in the Premier League. And out of the 5 wins he's got in the Premier League in total, 2 of them were against the same side, Crystal Palace. So you beat in Palace. So he beat Palace home and away. He beat Wolves at home. He beat Bournemouth at home. And then who's the other team he beat? I think Villa away. Out of them, I can only tell you 2 games we deserve to win. Wolves at home, Bournemouth at home. Every other game's been pathetic. No players have improved. No style of play. No pressing patterns. Sorry, this guy has to go. He has to go. What is the process? I mean, everyone says, trust the process, back a manager. I'm someone where I can support a process and be like, you know what? I can give a guy time. But there has to be something to work with. There needs to be some evidence of a style of play. How are you not beating a single top 10 side in the Premier League? And you've been given a king's ransom. Is this a wind-up? Is it genuinely a wind-up?
Bro, you guys have a -2 goal difference.
Oh, listen.
Beautiful, more stats. Lovely.
You know what? You know what?
Terry's loving it.
I'm not saying about the player thing.
Do you know what it comes down to? Like, I've been someone that's always said that Chelsea need to find a manager and stick with him. And the problem is, when you speak like this, I mean it and I believe it. The problem is sometimes you've got to wake up and smell the coffee. This isn't like a young Arteta having teething problems. This isn't a manager after the first couple of games looking bad and then improving. This is horrendous. This is terrible.
It's very comparable to Arteta, though. It's very comparable, though.
It's not comparable to Arteta. Arteta was not this bad at Arsenal. He wasn't.
There was a period where they were 15.
When Oli got the job, he gone 3 months beating everyone, including the big teams. I remember that was Oli. That's why United gave him the contract, all right? But Oli, when he got the job, he was going beating everyone, man. That guy, Graham Potter. Listen, well, you need to understand something, right? I'm not just blaming Graham Potter because the owner is absolutely clueless, right? He came from America, right? And he thought he's going to do it American way. No, in England, bro. No, the football here is different. Premier League is the most difficult, demanding league in the planet Earth, right? Physical, speed, everything. No spaces. If he knows football, he will know better, right? Point number 1. Point number 2, right? You got Graham Potter from without even making your homework, bro. Brighton is not Chelsea. Chelsea over the years, we sacked Mourinho, Carlo Ancelotti, one of the best managers in the world. He got sacked in the tunnel, bro. We talk about Chelsea here, so you've got to be up to the task. It's not, bro. Thomas Tuchel, I am not having that with Chelsea fan. Thomas Tuchel is not good enough. He's a top 4 manager. We know Arsenal, we need to go frigging win the league. As simple as that. Listen, I'm gonna have to add something.
Tell everyone who you want.
Chelsea
Tell everyone who you want.
It's not helping because they accept the lower the standard and they accept the mediocrity. That's what's happening right now.
Kasim, who do you want as a manager? Wait, Kasim, who do you want as a manager then? Tell everyone who you want as a manager. You don't want Potter. Who do you want as a manager then?
I take Brendan Rodgers. I said that.
What?
I would take Brendan Rodgers.
This is what I
would take Brendan Rodgers right now. He would do better job than Potter.
See, when there are times like this, you talk better about Tuchel than one Potter.
So, Kaz, hang on. So you just said a second ago that you don't want to be a top 4 team only. You need a manager that's a winner. Tuchel's only a top 4 manager.
Yes.
Tuchel has won, and then you want Brendan Rodgers.
Yes.
Well, that's like, honestly, that's like a vegetarian eating a McDonald's beef burger. What are you talking about, bruv?
I'll tell you what I'm talking about, bro. And I'll tell you what I'm talking about. Brendan Rodgers was Leicester, right? I mean, we spent 600 million. Leicester didn't spend 600 million. Brendan Rodgers was Leicester, beat City to the Charity Shield. They beat Chelsea in Tuchel in the FA Cup final. He finished top 4, just finished outside top 4, and he nearly won the league with Liverpool. What are we talking about?
Yeah, bro. But Thomas Tuchel won the Champions League against Pep.
And that's what.
So Brendan Rodgers beating you in a final, Brendan Rodgers isn't good enough either. Sacking Graham Potter, yes, but to bring in Brendan Rodgers, you'll be jumping out of the fireplace and into the fire. You'll improve, but you won't win Premier Leagues with him, bro. You won't win Premier Leagues.
I remember a year ago, United linked was Brendan Rodgers. I
didn't want him. Just because I didn't want him.
Yeah, but Terry, you don't want him doesn't make it he's a bad manager, does it?
He does. I know everything, and I'm not joking. But no, he's not.
He only won the league with Liverpool. He signed
crazy. This here says Chelsea. I've got a few super chats here. This is Chelsea is a development team. Is what's been said here. That's funny. This here to Dyke says, Dan, your team don't even have 10 Premier League wins versus us. Chelsea still sticking it to Tottenham today. I wouldn't do it today, Dyke. I wouldn't do it today. Spurs may sneak top 4, but they still have to back Conte. Will they? Potter out. Need a huge clear out of players. Winning the Champions League covered major cracks. So, but that's by Massive. Arsenal fan, love your show is what Unruly Marshall says here. Thank you to J3 F3 for becoming an official member of the Football Terrace. Guna Paul says, I thought Chelsea got rid of Jorginho for Enzo as Jorginho's legs had gone and was too old. Enzo looking slow today. Chelsea missed that Jorginho line splitting passing. Hashtag Potter in. Thank you here to Chris for becoming an official member of the Terrace. Chelsea end up in a relegation fight and bring in Big Sam Allardyce on an 8-year contract to save them. Honestly, Sam Allardyce would be a better appointment than Brendan Rodgers. I actually mean that. Because neither would win you anything. At least it'd be fun with Big Sam. No offense, Terry, but the team will win today 2-1. Thank you very much for that dampening message. We, Arsenal, would still be ahead of Chelsea if you only counted our away games. Wow.
Good on you.
That's a mad stat. That's a mad stat. Say Potter and Arteta is like saying home cook can cook the same as Gordon Ramsay. Stop the BS is what Jason says. This here says, don't compare Arteta to that bum Potter. Arteta won an FA Cup in his first 8 months. London is red, is what James Adams says here. Speaking of the game today, though, young Daniel, a big win for Tottenham. And, of course, Harry Kane stepping up in a big game for you. Talk to me.
No, it was a great performance. I expected us to win. I thought we were going to win. I was very confident going to this game for the first time playing Chelsea in a long time. But I expected them to dominate the game as they've have throughout the whole season. But as I've said many times, they don't have a number 9. So where are they going to score the goals? It's not going to be It's not going to be Kai Havertz. It's not going to be Joao Felix. They can't finish to save their lives. Their best finisher doesn't play.
Sorry, go on, carry on.
I think I expected to win this game. We've won this game. I want to make a point that today we saw the worst refereeing decision in the whole season. There's been many people calling the refereeing decisions. Today, that refereeing decision was absolutely atrocious. And just because we won doesn't mean we just disregard it. Because we would have lost.
The red card.
The red card. This man had a yellow card before he got. Let
me slow this down. What was wrong about it?
Well, first of all, he punched him in the face.
He didn't. Have you ever been punched?
Oh my god!
His hand was open. It's not a punch.
His hand was open. A punch is like this. His hand was open.
Okay, if you hit someone in the face, if you strike someone in the face, it's a red card.
He started the fight. He started the fight.
I'll be honest with you.
It doesn't matter who started the fight.
I'll be honest with you. He pushed him in the shoulder, and his hand kind of slipped up his shoulder into his face. It's not a red card, bro.
But that's the first part. He gave him a yellow for the foul, and then he gave him another one for the slap or punch or slap on the shoulder that somehow slapped the face, whatever you want to call it. He gave him another one. So that's 2 yellow cards. And
he gave him 2 yellows. When?
Yes, he gave him 2 yellows because Hakim Ziyech fouled. I forgot who he was.
No, he switched it to a red.
He got a yellow. Then he saw the foul that he slapped him on the face and he gave him a red. And then he turned that one into yellow.
The foul wasn't the yellow. The foul wasn't the yellow. No.
He had a yellow in his hand when he fouled him.
Yeah, that was the first yellow. Then he deducted it and then gave the red.
Yeah.
But either way, for me, the slap to the face is a foul. Is a red card. For me, it's just clear and obvious. It's clear and obvious. You can't strike someone in the face and get away with it. It doesn't matter who started the fight. He did. He slapped him on the face.
I understand your frustration. I would say this. Let's just agree to disagree that it's a red card for a moment. It's 1-1 then because Romero should have got pulled off for pulling on at the start of the season, pulling on Cucurella's hair. This is a 1-1.
Yeah.
A bad decision in that game doesn't make this one correct.
Yeah, I know. And I'm just saying because of the context of the game, you still won it. We'll just put that aside and agree with you and say 1-1. In terms of your run of form, though, that's 4 wins from 5 now, 4 points clear of Newcastle in 4th. Are you feeling confident about that top 4 finish?
I'm feeling very confident. Early on in the season, I had a debate with you, Terry, that we're going to finish ahead of Chelsea, and we're definitely going to finish ahead of Chelsea in the top 4. And it's looking like I'm right. I mean, Chelsea are falling apart. And I said this, the teams around us are not giving me enough competition. Liverpool, they're not giving me enough competition. The teams that I'm looking at that are giving me the most competition, is Fulham, Brighton. Come on. Like, I'm very confident we're going to get that top 4. And by the way, this man deserves his credit. Emerson Royale, give him the credit he deserves. Oliver Skip today, to see him score that first goal in his Tottenham shirt, absolutely love to see it. He deserved it. What a strike. And yeah, I'm just enjoying the day. Chelsea going down with the West Ham. And it's a beautiful, beautiful day.
Can you imagine if both West Ham and Chelsea get relegated? It'd be mad. Orchie's with us as well now. Orchie, just give me your thoughts on another solid Tottenham performance, another clean sheet, another win. Talk to me.
Yeah, well, officially, I'm now Conte out, Stellini in, because it's like we beat Man City and then Conte comes back and we had that awful game against Leicester. And look, since Stellini's taken over again, 2 back-to-back wins. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what's the difference between Stellini and Conte, but whatever Stellini is doing is definitely working. But yeah, I mean, it was, I've got to be honest. I think finally we're doing some things right. Definitely look, Son being dropped. And even like players like Skip coming in. I mean, there's been plenty of games previous to the last few games where he was coming on, not really having an effect. But now that obviously these other fringe players are seeing a chance to actually have a game and stamp their authority, like have a run in the team, basically. Look, I mean, Skip has been fantastic the last few games. And just, yeah, like Royale, now that he's got a proper person pushing him. Yeah, I mean, I'm just really, really happy. Long may this continue. But obviously Spurs being Spurs, you always fear that, you're going to have another
This is it. It's about cementing these and going on these runs. And listen, competition always breeds. You hear so many fan bases get worried about signing players. What about the development of this player or the pathway of this individual? It's such a backwards, regressive way of thinking, and people are basically reflecting their own fears in life. Like, I don't want no one challenging me because maybe I'm not very good at my job. You need that competition. it's one of the reasons Trent's regressed at Liverpool, because he has no one pushing him for that place. Just in the interest of time, because United game's kicking off soon, what are you saying, Don?
Terry, man. I've had enough, man. Listen, I came on the terrace a few weeks ago when we had all those injuries, and I defended Graham Potter because I felt like the criticism at the time that he was getting wasn't warranted, because you couldn't ignore the fact that he had over 12 injuries. You could have made a starting lineup full of all the injuries that we had. But what I did say to Jem on Chelsea Fan TV and a few others on Chelsea Fan TV was that as of January, what I do expect is better performances and also better results, because we're going to have players coming back from injury, and as well as the new players that have come in. I know there's still a few little bits that we need to sort out in terms of hopefully getting a CDM and hopefully getting a striker. But like I've said multiple times, you still have more than enough ingredients at the moment to make a meal of what you've got. These players, Terry, you can't say today on paper Spurs had a better team than Chelsea today. And I still didn't feel confident that we'd get a win. And that goes down to the manager. He's so timid. He's not brave enough. One of the things I said to my boys today was, if we had Erik ten Hag in charge, right, who I highly rate, I think is a top manager, at halftime, he would have made the change. He would have seen that Havertz isn't working up there. Bring Aubameyang on, who's a focus point, who's an actual finisher. His legs might have gone, but at least he can finish chances. Because Sterling looked like he was creating something on the left. He was attacking on that left side. The right side, again, you're starting a guy who was literally on the verge of going to Paris, going to PSG. You're starting him again. Why? Because defensively, he's the better winger. But if you look at Spurs' 11 that they put out there, we had to impose ourselves on them. And we didn't do that. We did it for the first 15, 20 minutes. After that, it just went to the same old nonsense. And that goes down to the manager. So for me, the last straw was literally last week when we lost against Southampton, because you can't lose against a team who, number one, has no manager, number two, beat us and are still bottom of the table, by the way, after beating us, right? That was the last straw for me, because the decisions that he's been making is ridiculous. You can't be starting Azpilicueta at right back. You can't be starting a double pivot of Gallagher Gallagher, starting Gallagher in the pivot, right? You can't be putting Mount up top when you've got Fofana, who was our best player against Southampton, coming off at half time. You're putting Mason Mount up top. You started him on the left. The decisions that he's been making, it's like he's trying to get himself sacked. And for me, Terry, it's like, I'm past the point of being angry. I'm more disappointed, because I rated Graham Potter before he came to Chelsea. I said this. I've said Graham Potter was always, looked at as someone who can scout all these players from Ecuador and all these players from Chile that no one really looks at when you look at these countries, right? And he always got everything out of them on the pitch. And the narrative all the time was always, oh, give Potter, more money. Imagine Potter a bigger club. For me, the step up should have been a Spurs, right? I know Spurs have beaten us today, but he should have had a step up before Chelsea, right? Right, okay. But what I'm saying is, he should have had that mini step up before going to a big club like Chelsea. But based off of his coaching ability, I always looked at him and thought, right, let's see what he can actually cook with better players and money behind him. He's disappointed me, because the decisions that he's making are so amateur. They're so amateur, Terry. Like, it's clear to see.
Do you know what, Don? I couldn't agree with you more, mate. I really, really couldn't. And I could speak about this for hours more, but obviously the United game's kicking off in about 5 minutes' time. But we definitely want to get you on again, Don. I've got some super chats here I want to get through, because I don't want to disrespect the people that did them. It says, this fan in the bottom right, I think he means Kazim, is so delusional. I bet Chelsea will not win anything anymore. Yellow was for the earlier Havertz challenge, is what Gav is saying towards Daniel in the red card. This here says, our new players are digressing. I think he means regressing with every game. Horrible marking for the corner. Potter is clueless, just like the bloke talking about bringing in Brendan Rodgers. Dan, go dust your empty trophy cabinet. So a little bit of... Listen, you can't banter Tottenham today. You can't
banter Tottenham today. Tottenham done their thing, man. Tottenham done their thing.
Look at it. I'm going to say one thing.
Exactly. Stick to the process like Arsenal. With all due respect, we are not Arsenal. We clearly seen other teams rise to top without finishing 8th. And that's also a fair point. You don't need to do it Arsenal's way either. There are other ways it's going to cap. A clueless Chelsea fan, talking about Quasim here, coach, board, and supporters. Chelsea players are mercenaries with no heart, is what Silva Runin says. And this here from Adam says, Potter overachieved with an almost there Brighton, but De Zerbi has got them flying now. Potter is a championship level manager, hit his ceiling at Swansea. Listen, I want to say a big thank you to everyone who's tuned in. Sorry we can't take more calls. United kick off in 4 minutes. We're live after that game, but we will be talking more.
By the way,
Tottenham
real
and
quick.
Chelsea. Sorry, bro. We'll be talking more Tottenham and Chelsea tomorrow on the Top 6 show, 6 p.m. on the Football Terrace. So make sure you're all tuning into that.
Terry, real quick. I just
go on.
wanted to say something. I'm gonna send you a video. This is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. Karius warming up for the game. He just let in 2 sitters, like warming up. Like it's gone straight at him, and he's let it go through his legs.
Oh yeah, this is
Gonna
gonna
be
be
5-0.
Listen, you're jinxing it now. We're not listening. Listen, I'm going to go, people. The Top 6. This show's going to take you. Sorry, guys. This show's going to take you through to the Top 6 show on Monday. So make sure you like it and bookmark it ready. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you all again soon.